Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and the little guitar that I'm holding here is a Preston Thompson Size 2 KK Deluxe. Now, Size 2 guitars probably aren't as well known as, say, O, double O, triple O type designations, but it's part of the traditional Martin numbering system, and just the same way as triple O's are larger than O's, the numbers actually go up as the guitars go smaller. So the next one after an O size would be the size 1, then the size 2, which is this, all the way down to the size 5, which is a terce size guitar. But these size 2s, very cool little instruments. They were very popular back in the sort of mid to late 1800s. Martin built them right through about their golden era in the mid to late 20s, but they aren't recreated as many times as some of the other sizes. And Thompson has done a beautiful job in taking the size and building a guitar that's really like nothing that other companies would have made back in the day when these guitars were popular. Now, what Thompson has done with this guitar is they've made the body completely out of Koa, and it is a beautiful, highly flamed Koa all the way around, really quite stunning. And they've essentially given it a 42 style treatment with, of course, the abalone purfling all the way around the top. It's got a 3-ring abalone rosette. The abalone around the fingerboard extension. Now the inlay in the fingerboard itself is actually more like a style 45 inlay pattern, and it's really beautifully executed. White binding on the fingerboard, and the slotted peg head of course has the torch inlay as well. On the back of the peg head we see a beautiful diamond volute on the back, the dart. The guitar uses Waverly tuning machines. There are 3 on a strip tuning machines, open gear of course, as they would be on a vintage style guitar with a slotted peg head. And just really a stunning example of the kind of craftsmanship and attention to detail that the folks building guitars with Preston Thompson are capable of. Also noteworthy is the pyramid bridge made out of ebony. That's really very beautifully executed. The guitar has a 24.9 inch scale, so even though the body is quite a bit smaller than most even small body guitars, the scale length is basically the same as other short scale guitars would be. So in terms of the playability and the string tension, it's quite comparable to a lot of other short scale instruments. So back in the day, these size 2 guitars were sometimes called ladies' guitars. These were popular in the days when parlor music was a big thing. They have a somewhat delicate voice. They respond best to somewhat soft, more delicate playing, which is not what they're totally limited to, of course. But I'm enjoying playing this even with some sort of light classical kind of material, like this little Gasper Sands Españoleta. Really lovely sound that way, very responsive to the touch on the right hand, and excellent playability. I haven't played a lot of vintage size 2 guitars. I would imagine that some of them might have a slightly chunkier neck than what's on here, which almost feels like a contemporary guitar. It's got an ever so slight V shape to it, but very, very playable all the way around. And the 12 fret neck, of course, gives it a similar feel on the left hand than a classical guitar would as well. So while the Thompson Size 2 is a very fun guitar to play fingerstyle, and that's really what I gravitated toward when I was first picking this up, it also sounds quite lovely played with a pick. You probably wouldn't want to dig in as hard as you would with a dreadnought or such, but whether you're playing single note lines or to do some kind of light strumming duties, Really a very nice sounding guitar. Puts out surprising volume for having such a small box, and nice and balanced, and just a really fun guitar to play that would really work probably in a surprising amount of musical context, both on stage and in the studio. So a lovely little guitar, beautiful woods, beautiful appointments, great tribute to a vintage design without really copying any particular vintage guitar, and that's really what the folks at Preston Thompson Guitars do so well, and this is a beautiful example of that. Check out Thompson Guitars at one of their dealers, and please come back here to Peghead Nation for more of our gear demos. My name is Teja Gerken.